blackout. I don't know if I'll make it through the night. The power is out. My phone battery is dying. The only light I have is the dim glow of the screen as I type this. I don't know what's outside, but it's getting closer. I need someone to know what happened. I need someone to believe me. It started with a simple blackout. The weather had been fine, no storm, no wind, just a normal evening. I was home alone watching TV when everything cut out. The hum of the fridge died. The lights vanished. The silence swallowed the room. I wasn't worried at first. Power outages happen, right? I grabbed my phone to check for updates, but the Wi-Fi was out. That's when I noticed something strange. The street outside was completely black. Not just dim, pitch dark. No streetlights, no headlights, no glow from neighbors' windows. I live in a small neighborhood, and even during power outages, there's always some light. Someone with a generator. The faint red blink of a security camera. Something. But this? It was like the world had been swallowed whole. I tried calling my friend, but the call failed. No signal. My stomach twisted. That was weird. Then I heard it. A soft tap at the window. I froze. The sound was faint, almost gentle, like fingertips against the glass. I turned my phone flashlight toward the window, expecting to see a tree branch or maybe a bird, but there was nothing. The tapping came again. Closer. I grabbed the nearest thing I could find, a kitchen knife, because something about this felt wrong. I stood completely still, straining my ears. The silence was unnatural. No wind, no distant cars, no insects, just nothing. And then, my front door creaked open. I spun toward the noise, heart hammering. I knew I had locked it. I knew I had locked it. The darkness beyond the doorway stretched deep, swallowing the entryway into a black void. My flashlight barely cut through it. My breathing was ragged. I told myself it was just a power outage, that it was just a coincidence. But then, from that black nothingness, something moved. A shape, a tall shape, standing in my open doorway, watching me. I didn't wait. I ran to my bedroom and locked the door. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold the knife. My flashlight flickered, casting long shadows that seemed to bend when I wasn't looking. I held my breath and listened. First, nothing. Then, slow footsteps in the hallway. A dragging sound, like something long and heavy being pulled along the floor. I clamped a hand over my mouth. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would give me away. Then a whisper. "Lo, wrong. I see you." I nearly screamed. I backed up, pressing myself against the far wall. The only escape was the window, but my room was on the second floor. Jumping wasn't an option. The footsteps stopped just outside my door. I could hear breathing. Slow, deep, like someone was inhaling my scent. Then the doorknob turned. It wasn't a sudden, violent jolt. No, it was slow, deliberate, like it was toying with me. I tightened my grip on the knife, my body paralyzed with fear. Then silence. For the longest time, nothing happened. The power was still out. The world was still dark. And then, just when I thought it was over, the lights flickered back on. Relief flooded through me. I jumped up, heart still racing, but the house was normal again. The front door was shut. The hallway was empty. I told myself it had been a hallucination. Maybe a dream. Maybe my mind playing tricks on me in the dark. I almost believed it, until I checked my phone. There was a new photo in my camera roll. Picture of me, taken from inside my closet. I'm not staying here. I'm leaving. I don't care where I go. But before I do, I'm checking the closet. If I don't post again, don't come looking for me. I never believed in ghosts, or demons, or whatever people say lurks in the dark. I believed in rationality, but that was before last night, before the blackout, before I learned that something lives in the darkness, and now it knows my name. The power cut out around 11:30 p.m. I was home alone, stretched out on my couch, half asleep with my laptop resting on my stomach. 1 second, the warm glow of the screen flickered across my face, and the next, total darkness. The sudden silence made my skin prickle. The fridge stopped humming. The heater shut off. The distant sound of cars on the street outside? Gone. I sat up, blinking into the pitch black. My phone was next to me. I grabbed it and clicked the screen on. 2% battery. Great. I pushed myself off the couch, using my phone's dim glow to guide me to the kitchen. I figured I'd check the breaker box in the basement. Maybe it was just my house. But when I peeked through the window, my stomach twisted. The entire street was black. No streetlights, no headlights, no distant glow from the city. Just an endless void. That's when I saw it. A figure standing at the edge of my yard. Tall, unmoving, staring right at me. My breath hitched. The figure stood completely still, just a dark silhouette against an even darker night. No flashlight, no phone. I swallowed hard. "Hello," I called out. My voice sounded too loud in the silence. No response. I reached for my phone again, my thumb hovering over the emergency call button. No signal. Of course. I looked back at the yard and the figure was gone. Something was wrong. I tried to shake off the unease and made my way to the basement door. The old wooden steps creaked under my weight as I descended. The breaker box was on the far wall. I aimed my phone's dying screen at it, squinting at the switches. Everything looked normal. Just as I reached out to flip a breaker, my phone screen flickered, then died. The basement went completely black. That's when I heard breathing. I went completely still. It was faint, ragged, coming from the far corner of the basement. I wasn't alone. A sharp, cold dread filled my chest. I took a slow step backward, my pulse hammering. My fingers tightened around the useless phone in my hand. The breathing grew louder, and then something moved. A soft, dragging sound against the concrete floor. Closer. I spun and ran. I nearly tripped up the stairs in my panic. My shoulder slammed into the door as I shoved it open, and I slammed it shut behind me, locking it. I stood there, panting, my forehead pressed against the wood. Silence. Had I imagined it? Maybe my mind was playing tricks on me. The dark can do that, right? Then, a knock. Soft, deliberate. From the other side of the door. I bolted. I ran to my bedroom, locked the door, and grabbed the only weapon I had. A rusty screwdriver from my desk drawer. Then I waited. Minutes passed. Maybe hours. The world outside was still pitch black. Then, just as my racing heart began to slow, the power came back on. Light flooded the house. The heater roared to life. My phone buzzed on my nightstand, its screen glowing with 100% battery. Relief crashed over me. I let out a nervous laugh, rubbing my eyes. Had I imagined all of it? The breathing? The knock? Maybe. But then I saw my bedroom door. It was unlocked and open. I don't remember unlocking it. I don't remember hearing it open. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up. I slowly turned my head toward the closet. The door was slightly ajar, and from the darkness inside, something breathed. "I see you." I woke up outside. The sun was rising, the house behind me standing silent and still. I don't know how I got out, but I'm never going back in. I never feared the dark. I should have. I should have listened to the stories, the warnings, the irrational fears people have about what lurks in the shadows. I used to laugh at them. I used to tell myself that the darkness is just an absence of light, nothing more. But last night, during the blackout, I learned the truth. There's something in the dark. And now it knows my name. The power went out at exactly 11:43 p.m. I remember because I had just glanced at the clock, irritated that my movie had frozen mid-scene. The screen cut to black. The hum of my refrigerator went silent. And in a matter of seconds, my entire apartment was swallowed by pitch-dark emptiness. I sighed, pushing myself up from the couch. This wasn't the first time my building had experienced a blackout. It happened maybe once every few months, bad wiring, the landlord said. It usually came back on within an hour. I wasn't worried, at least not until I looked outside. My stomach twisted. It wasn't just my building. The entire street was dark. No streetlights, no headlights, no flickering neon signs from the bar across the road. The city was dead. A complete, unnatural void. I grabbed my phone from the coffee table. 3% battery. I sighed. Of course. I tapped the screen to check my signal. No service. I frowned. That was strange. Even during power outages, my phone still had signal. I moved toward the window, hoping for a bar or two. And that's when I saw it. A figure standing in the middle of the road. Tall, motionless, facing my building, facing me. A chill crept down my spine. The figure stood completely still, just a dark silhouette against the even darker cityscape. I squinted, trying to make out any features, but it was useless, just an outline vaguely human-shaped. I swallowed hard. Was it staring at me? I shook my head. No, that was ridiculous. My mind was just playing tricks on me. The shadows outside were deeper than usual, making shapes where there were none. Then, my phone buzzed in my hand. A new message from an unknown number. Don't look at it. I nearly dropped my phone. A lump formed in my throat. I felt the skin on the back of my neck prickle. Slowly, so slowly, I turned my head back toward the window. The figure was closer. Not in the street anymore. On the sidewalk, right beneath the flickering exit sign of my building. Still standing, still facing me. I took a shaky step back. Another message came through. Don't let it see you move. I felt my breath catch. I froze. My heart pounded so hard I thought it would give me away. My body screamed at me to run, to move away from the window. But something deep inside told me to listen. So I didn't move. Not an inch. Not even to breathe. The figure twitched. A slight, unnatural jerk of its head. Then, it stepped forward. I swallowed a whimper. My muscles ached from staying still. Another step, and another. Slow, deliberate, then silence. I wanted to believe it was gone, but I knew better. The air felt wrong. And then, tap. A single, faint tap on my window, right beside my face. I snapped. I jumped back, my body moving before I could stop myself. I scrambled across the room, knocking over a chair as I rushed toward my bedroom. Another message flashed across my screen. Run. I ran. I slammed my bedroom door shut, twisting the lock with shaking fingers. My breathing came fast and ragged. My phone was dying. 2% battery. I pressed my ear against the door. Silence. For a moment, I thought, maybe it was over. Then, my apartment door creaked open. I clamped a hand over my mouth. My knees buckled, and I sank to the floor beside my bed, trying not to make a sound. Slow, dragging footsteps moved through my living room. Something was inside. My chest ached from holding my breath. My fingers dug into the carpet as I strained to listen. Tap, tap, tap. The sound of bare feet against tile. A whisper so soft, so inhuman, filled the air. I see you. A cold shiver ran down my spine. The footsteps stopped outside my bedroom door. I gripped my phone tight, my last lifeline, and glanced at the screen. A new message. Don't let the lights come back on. I didn't understand. Why wouldn't I want the power to come back? Before I could think, the light bulb above me flickered. Once, twice, then the power returned. The apartment lit up. My TV screen glowed. The fridge hummed back to life. The street outside illuminated once more. I let out a shaky laugh. Had I imagined it? Had the darkness just played tricks on my mind? Maybe. But then I saw my bedroom door. It was unlocked and open. I don't remember unlocking it. I don't remember hearing it open. Slowly, I turned my head toward my closet. The door was slightly ajar, and inside, two glowing white eyes stared back at me. The power was back. But I knew then, it never left, and now it knows my name. The darkness that followed. I don't know what time it is. My phone is dead. The power is still out, and I'm not alone in this house. I can hear it moving slow, deliberate steps in the hallway outside my door. It's been here since the blackout started, but I was too late to realize it. I don't think I'll make it until morning. It started at exactly 9:13 p.m. I remember because I had been watching a movie. slouched on my couch with a bowl of half-eaten popcorn, when the screen cut to black. At first, I thought it was just my old TV acting up. But then I noticed something strange. The silence. No hum from the fridge. No distant car alarms. No wind howling outside. Just a heavy, suffocating stillness. The entire neighborhood was pitch dark. I stepped toward the window and pulled the curtains back. Nothing. No streetlights. No glow from the houses across the street. It was like someone had draped a thick, black sheet over the world. Then I saw it. A figure standing in the middle of the road. No flashlight. No phone. Just a tall, unmoving silhouette, barely visible against the deeper darkness. Something about it sent ice down my spine. Then my phone buzzed. A new text message. "Don't look at it." A chill ran through me. The number was unknown. I turned away from the window instantly, heart hammering. It had to be a prank. Someone messing with me, right? But as I stepped back into my darkened living room, the atmosphere felt different. Like the air had thickened. Like I wasn't alone. I reached for my flashlight, clicked it on. The weak beam barely pierced the darkness, but as I swept it around the room, I saw nothing. Then, a soft tap on the window. My stomach twisted. I hadn't told anyone I was home alone. I turned the flashlight toward the sound, but all I could see was my own reflection in the glass. Then something moved behind me. I spun around, heart slamming against my ribs. My flashlight flickered. The shadows in the corners of the room seemed deeper, stretching unnaturally. I swallowed hard. My front door was still locked. I hadn't heard anything break in, but I could feel it now. Something was in the house with me. Then my phone buzzed again. Another text. "It's inside." A sharp, cold breath touched the back of my neck. I ran. I didn't think. I just sprinted down the hall, straight into my bedroom, and slammed the door shut. My hands fumbled in the dark for the lock, twisting it into place. I pressed my back against the door, breathing hard. My flashlight flickered again, the beam dancing erratically across the room. Then, the footsteps. Slow, deliberate, right outside my door. My shaking fingers hovered over my phone screen, but the battery was nearly dead. The last bit of light from it showed one final text message. "Whatever you do, don't let the lights come back on." My phone died before I could reply. I stared at the screen in horror. Why wouldn't I want the power to come back? Then I heard it. A whisper. Low, twisted. "I see you." The doorknob twisted violently. I stumbled back, clutching my flashlight like it was a weapon. The shadows in the corners of my room moved, not like the flickering of a light, but like something crawling just beyond my sight. And then, just as suddenly as it had started, the power came back on. Light flooded the house. My bedroom was empty. The silence stretched on. No footsteps, no whispers, just the hum of the fridge kicking back to life. The distant sound of a car alarm blaring down the street. I let out a shaky breath. Had I imagined it? Had the darkness played tricks on my mind? Then I noticed something. The bedroom door. It was unlocked and wide open. I don't remember unlocking it. I don't remember hearing it open. My hands went ice cold. I took a step forward, peering out into the hallway. It was empty, but something felt wrong. The air smelled different. Rotten. Damp, like something had been in here for a long, long time. That's when I saw the footprints. Dark, wet footprints leading from my door to my closet. The door was open just a crack, and inside, two glowing white eyes stared back at me. I don't remember screaming. I don't remember running. All I know is that I woke up outside, on my front lawn, the sun rising in the distance. My hands were scraped, my breath ragged. The house was silent behind me, but the door was still open. I'm not going back inside, not ever, because as the sunlight spilled through my doorway, I finally understood the message. Whatever came in during the blackout never left.